So what you are really saying is that there can be two types of chaos. One is a type of servile submission to illegitimate commands, and the other would be a type of renegade disobedience to legitimate commands. How does one distinguish between these two things? And when we distinguish between the two, what can we do to resist the abuses?
In the civil sphere, there is a need to reject any cooperation with the current pandemic narrative and with the climate emergency that may soon replace it. Disregarding regulation that are illegitimate or that expose citizens to concrete risks for their health is morally lawful and in certain circumstances is even a duty. In no way can one jeopardize one's life or health or that of one's children, not even in the face of the threat of retaliation. For in that case, our participation would make us guilty before God and deserving of His punishment. In no way can we accept the administration of experimental gene serums, in the course of whose production children have been killed in the 3rd month of pregnancy. Their blood would fall on those who produced them, as well on those who imposed them and those who received them. In no case should it be tolerated that a pseudo-pandemic whose victims are fewer in number than the victims of the supposed vaccines, because an alibi for imposing control and limitation on natural freedom and civil rights. And if the media enslaved to power and accomplices of this conspiracy censor every dissenting voice, this should persuade us that dystopian society described by George Orwell is now being realized following a precise script under a single direction. I denounced it in my appeal last year, and no one who reread it today can accuse me of having sounded unjustified alarms. Let us not forget that since 2010, the Rockefeller Foundation has predicted 4 scenarios for these years. One of these was the pandemic lockstep. Roadmaps had been studied for all of these scenarios, and it is disturbing to see how the one relating to the pandemic has essentially turned out as expected. The thousands of fires started around the world in recent days are providing the mainstream media with a pretext to shout about the climate emergency, in the name of which they are already warning us that we have to prepare for a few lockdowns and new forms of limitation of our freedoms and of our rights. But then there will be the global cyber attack on the economic crisis, which have already been studied and planned out, and whose first sign we can observe. All of these strategies have the attack on the individuals as their objective. Isolated and attacking his emotionality and his daily rhythms and in his work. And also attack the masses in an undifferentiated and anonymous way. Those who dissent, that is, those who do not accept this turn into guinea pigs and seeing the world population decimated by transforming it into a mass of chronically ill, must understand that the disobedience is just as necessary as it was at the time of other dictatorship of the last century, and even more so. It is disconcerting that after having built the rhetoric of the post-World War II era on the anti-Nazism, no one seems to recognize that the same discrimination that made concentration camp possible is now arising again in a more ruthless form. One wonders whether the totalitarian regimes of the 20th century did not constitute a preparatory experiment for what is happening today, starting with the State of Israel.
Hello, I'm Deborah Tomlinson with Irby Communications. Thank you for watching. The Viganò Tapes consist of 18 questions we asked Archbishop Viganò at the end of August 2021. Each question will be released separately in its own video over the next 18 days. Be sure to click the red subscribe button and the bell next to it so you will be notified when we upload the next question. Also, consider joining Dr. Robert Moynihan on pilgrimage this October in the United States in the beautiful Shenandoah Valley in Virginia. We have only a few seats left. See the link below. Thank you very much.